Today, I'm bringing you one of the best and easiest draft strategies going into the 2023 season. I'm going to be bringing you value stacks. And if you don't know what stacks is, stay tuned to the video because I'm going to be explaining that a little bit and showing you the values in the underdog or your redraft leagues going into the 2023 season. But before we get into it, go to flockfantasy.com/land, the best place to support what Zach and I are doing here. Not only do you get our articles, our rankings, and our bonus content, you get all the other content creators on the website as well, which is absolutely phenomenal. So once again, go to flockfantasy.com/land, get 30% off at sign up. Let's go straight into the video. Okay, so one of the easiest and best draft strategies, in my opinion, in 2023, and I do believe this is going to continue for years to come. So if you are new to best ball and or redraft, this is probably one of the best strategies that you want to go out and try to practice right now. And you probably have done this without even realizing it. And you probably didn't realize that was a term or a strategy. It kind of just happened. And once again, that is stacking or stacks, getting stacks. And what does that mean? Pairing up your quarterback or wide receiver, quarterback or tight end, quarterback or running back, stacking. That is raising your upside week in and week out when you're doing your underdog leagues or your redraft leagues and or dynasty leagues. To be completely honest, any single league that raises your value. And I'm not saying that this is absolute guaranteed, but essentially what happens is that if you were to draft Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen throws a touchdown to Stephon Diggs, that is 12 points right there. 6-point passing touchdown, right? You throw it to Josh Allen, throws a touchdown, Stephon Diggs catches a touchdown, 12 points, and not even counting the yardage or the yardage of that reception, right? So there are so many different factors, basically raising your upside week in and week out. So that is what stacking is. If you don't know what that is, I hope that was really helpful. But here's some quick tips before we get into the value as well that I really believe that you should be taking into account when you are doing the stacking, right? Early stacks have to be great. When you are looking at stacks, kind of like a Travis Kelce and a Patrick Mahomes, that is a great stack. I am not going and reaching for my stacks. I'm not going out and trying to find, if I'm early stacks, right? First to the third round, you don't want to reach and take in a one quarterback league. Okay, I got CeeDee Lamb. I got CeeDee Lamb in my first and second round. I have to reach for Dak Prescott. Let it happen naturally. That's why the first stacks, the beginning stacks, have to be great. You don't want to draft Tyreek Hill and then really reach for Tua. Getting a Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, getting a Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, those are the elite premium stacks that you really want to be focusing on when you're doing your stacking. And then finding the combinations of the later wide receivers and quarterbacks for either your secondary stack or your primary stack, I think is also really key. Getting the late round values for those are phenomenal. Whether you're in the one quarterback, a super flex league, they are always bringing value and are very essentially underlooked, in my opinion, and forgotten about when they're doing your best ball stacks. So let's get into the values that I wanted to bring here today, because I think it's so easy to say you can get the Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes stack, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews stack, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen stack, etc., etc. I really wanted to bring my favorite value stacks that I'm going to be targeting in my best ball and or redraft leagues, meaning that I'm going to be trying to target these guys, whether it's wide receivers, tight ends, or quarterbacks, a little bit later, and really maximizing my upside, whether I'm in a super flex or one quarterback league. So my first team that I truly believe is a value right now, and it's essentially the whole team, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that I've been really in on this year, a team that I really believe is going to take a massive step going into the 2023 season. And let's just start off with Kenny Pickett, right? Kenny Pickett, ADP 169, QB 23. That's around round 15. He is getting drafted in your best ball leagues, and essentially probably in your redraft league as well, probably going undrafted in a 12-man league at QB 23, and probably going into the mid, I would say 7th, 8th round in a super flex league, depending on how high you're really wanting to draft him. If you compare him up with someone like a Deontay Johnson, who is currently going in the 6th round as wide receiver 34, ADP 64.2, raising that stack is raising your value there is ridiculous. Just starting off from the bat there, Kenny Pickett, Deontay Johnson, and that's only one player. We can go through this whole list. Najee Harris, Kenny Pickett with Najee Harris going in the 4th round, RB12. I think that's a really good value right now for Najee Harris in best ball leagues, especially in your redraft leagues as well. George Pickens, who's right now being on the look, he is one of my breakout players coming into the 2023 season. I think his value is going to rise and his production is going to rise. Going in round 7 right now, wide receiver 40 with his ADP at 74.9, nearly at the end of the 7th round, early 8th round right now. And then Pat Frymuth, tight end 10 right now in the community, going in the 10th round. These are literally 5 players that you can get as your secondary. Getting Deontay Johnson as a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, getting a Najee Harris as a RB2, getting Kenny Pickett as a QB2 and or as a QB2 essentially in your redraft leagues and or best ball leagues. This value here for every single one of these players is phenomenal. And once again, we're all about raising our value by creating and stacking our wide receivers with our quarterbacks with our wide receivers, our quarterbacks with our wide receivers, quarterbacks with our tight ends, and quarterbacks with our running backs. Okay, so that is my first team that I'm really excited about while I am going to be stacking. My second team that I'm really excited about is the Cleveland Browns, another team I truly believe that their ADP and value are being very overlooked, underlooked, and just swept under the rug right now. And once again, starting off with the quarterback value, Deshaun Watson, QB9 right now, going in the 7th round as a QB1 who has the history as a top 5 finishing quarterback almost every single year outside of his rookie year and this past year, going as QB9 in the 7th round on your underdog leagues is wild. Okay, now you really break down this running back. I don't think Nick Chubb is of value here in this team as a team whole, but someone like a Jerome Ford going, if Nick Chubb does go down and you can get, let's say you do draft Nick Chubb and you want to get the handcuff, Jerome Ford going in the 14th round here is not really going to hurt you or do anything too much. You want to get the stack in that sense and make sure and get the handcuff. I think that is a good option. 2 guys I've been raving about this season. I think I would say Amari Cooper is not the value here, but I am okay getting Amari Cooper, in the 3rd round. As you can see, his ADP is wide receiver 18, and drafting Deshaun Watson in the 7th round, and then getting Elijah Moore, continuing the stack, to be completely honest, because I truly believe this is the real guy that I really want to be acquiring outside of Amari Cooper, is Elijah Moore, wide receiver 44 in the community, going in round 8. ADP 86.7 right now as I'm recording this video. It's just going to continue to rise in my opinion. So if you can get into these best ball drafts now, you can get tremendous value for this team. David Njoku going in the 9th round, I think that's pretty obvious. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones as a flyer. Let's say Amari Cooper misses some time, or Donovan Peoples-Jones catches 2 touchdowns or 8 touchdowns for a 90-yard bomb. He is the field stretcher. That is something that you really want to acquire there when you're really thinking about these stacks. High upside, once again, high upside plays, high upside guys. You want to stack these players. And it may seem absurd. Why would I have, I would say this. If you were to draft Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, and Donovan Peoples-Jones I think that's a little bit of overkill. Pick the 2, maybe if you don't want to stretch for Amari Cooper, and that's fine. Then wait for Elijah Moore to fall to you, and then go get him, and then get Donovan Peoples-Jones. Maybe in that 3rd round, you could have gotten, a Deebo Samuel or somebody along those lines to really fill that gap and give you more exposure on your rosters. And the last team here that I'm really excited about, that once again, finding value in the drafts right now, that is the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields is a quarterback that I truly believe in. And yes, this team has a lot of rookies or are going into a year that they're really going to have to understand their chemistry. But the value right now for each and every one of these guys are pretty phenomenal. I would say outside of one player, which is DJ Moore. So let's start with him. DJ Moore, wide receiver 26, going in the 4th round. Sometimes I see him falling even further, to be completely honest. I've seen him going to the mid-5th, even to the late 5th round as well. So I think the ADP is a little bit shaky here for DJ Moore, but somebody I would say going higher in this ADP is Justin Fields. According to this 49 ADP round 5 QB6. I've seen him going a little bit higher. I've seen him going in the 4th round sometimes, but with the rushing upside, that's why people are drafting and maybe reaching a little bit for Justin Fields. But once again, if you can get Justin Fields as a QB2 and or your QB1, and then get someone like a DJ Moore and or a Darnell Mooney, who I absolutely love and see that upside, who I can see this offense really opening up here, I think that could be something really special. Wide receiver 57 going in round 11. If you don't want to pay the premium on DJ Moore and you can get the stack with Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields, I think that is also really, really special. And the running backs, I think both of Khalil Herbert and Big O Roscoe is of value right now. Running back 40 for Khalil, running back 47 for Roscoe, round 11 and round 13. You know, if you're doing a late strategy here, if you can get them maybe somewhere close to back, or if you can somehow acquire this backfield and really understand that, hey, I'm going to try something a little bit different here, and if I didn't get the running backs that I wanted, or you go 0 RB in the best ball league and wanting to acquire that backfield, I think this is a good strategy that you can do here. Khalil Herbert and Rashawn Johnson. I mean, if you're on the turn here, let's say you're on the 12 or the 1, just go back to back, pick them both, solidify that backfield and say, you know what, I have the upside no matter what, especially when you really think of this backfield. And the last guy here, obviously, that is Cole Kmet, going a tight end 15, round 13. So much value there for Cole Kmet. Another guy I really believe, if you a good tight end 2 here, you know, maybe you have a George Kittle, maybe you have a Kyle Pitts you got in the middle of the rounds, and getting Cole Kmet here with the stack of Justin Fields, I think it's phenomenal, really, when you wrap this up. One thing I want to say is that when you are stacking, try not to force it. I think a lot of people tend to force it, and a lot of people tend to go overkill, essentially getting their whole offense. You know, if I have, you know, Justin Fields, Khalil Herbert, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Darnell Mooney, it's just a little bit too much. Diversify it, change it. Maybe you do go Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet in one draft. Then maybe you go Justin Fields, you know, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney in one draft, or maybe you go DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and the running backs. You know, there's so many different ways that you want to do, and that's why your exposure is key here. And when you're really looking at these teams and matchups. So once again, this is not a matchup based video, because I'm not saying all these teams have good matchups, but what they do is bring tremendous value when you think of trying to get to that week, trying to get to weeks 15, 16, 17 when you are in your best ball or your redraft leagues. So once again, the Chicago Bears with all those players, the Cleveland Browns with all those players, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I truly believe are going to bring tremendous value in your best ball or sleeper redraft leagues. Comment down below, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if there's some other values that you are really targeting in your best ball leagues or any other leagues that you're in. And I'm actually really excited about this. I really love stacking. Zach and I are kind of, not that we're getting into it, but we've always been into the stacking, but we never really created a video. So I really hope this is insightful. If you're new to best ball, if you're new to this whole world, I can link you a really good article about this as well if you guys want to check that out. But once again, comment down below, let me know what you think. And as always, it's all love.
Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, LAND, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh,
it's so easy. Even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.